here at WESG.
His Warlock is banned. Posesi's Warlock contains the Faceless Manipulators, Mountain Giants, Cube, so he's definitely aiming to target that. The Mage doesn't contain anything too fancy, but it does have the one-of Potion of Polymorph, as well as the Pyroblast, which of course gives the deck additional game against a Warlock like Q-Block.
I don't think we've solved the argument yet of who is favoured. We've just solved the argument of is Mage massively favoured? No, it really isn't. We're 100% sure, you were anyway, but 100% sure on the fact that if it's favoured, it's not much. A Luneth, though.
I don't know. I feel like that card makes the matchup pretty one-sided.
I think this is why it's so hard to judge the matchup, because when you see the Luneth games, you're like, oh, why do we play the game?
Depends how aggressively you mulligan for it, right? I think this is one of those things where Hunter could aggressively mulligan for Barnes in so many respects, but I feel like Mage ends up with playable hands more often. And rarely ever has to aggressively mulligan for a Luneth, barring like those hopeless matchups that you're desperately trying to get burned for.
Yeah, you never throw it away, but like you say, going hunting for it's a totally different story.
An argument for using that Frostbolt here instead of letting the Warlock get some value. You could have buffed the Mana Worm a bit further, kept it alive until at least Hellfire turn.
Second Void Lord is a bit of a nightmare for Scream. Makes his lackey a little bit more precarious because there's only one Doomguard to fetch now. If he draws that, then, yeah, he can give that up.
Tower Creeper putting in a ton of work in this playoff stage. We've seen less of it prior, I feel. A lot of players were sort of opting out. But it's been soaking up all the, I was going to say explosive runes. It's been eating away at the board-centric presence of a lot of players.
The group stages were a lot more aggressive than most tournaments in recent weeks, so I think people adjusted to that overnight and loaded up on those Tower Creepers. And now this is the passive turn where not much happens. Arcane Intellect, almost the last thing he wanted here.
But he's got a sizable amount of burn in the face right now. I mean, he can just start throwing those Frostbolts, and with the Luneth coming up, he's about closing this game.
Have we started the third place? No, we're halfway through it nearly. But
watch out.
Feels like we've seen this a few times before as well.
I mean, 15 more damage coming up. So next turn, either Posesi ends this. I think you might warrant Frostbolting one of these. Depends on whether or not you pick up a Fireball off the top, because that would actually close out the game.
Yeah, you had a lot of outs to just win the game there, but...
Oh my god, the Cube, the health, the Doom Guards. I think Warlock's turning this one around.
Scribble in the notepad time, because he's definitely turning it around. The Ice Block is going to buy some time.
That's a Fireball! He might be able to get just enough damage.
There's a lot of damage coming in, but he needs to do a lot. That Dark Pact healed so much. Like Dark Pact does. 8, in fact. That's kind of the job.
And I think he's got it. That's the Fireball.
And he has the naught cost Frostbolt, in case you're thinking, well, 2 Fireballs isn't enough. It's not, but he has a naught cost Frostbolt that he's saved all game. Scream thinks he's safe.
Little does he know.
He has no healing. His only out, which he will no way go for ever, is to tap to try and find some healing.
You would never put yourself with 12 health against a mage that just a Luneth it for 2 turns. So that's Fireball, Fireball, and the Glyph that kept the Frostbolt. That's going to shut out Scream out of this victory. So close. And again, these two decks just doing extremely explosive things when you leave them to their own antics.
2-1 to Posesi in, what, 10 minutes?
Something like that.